So, from Mark Nixon, how many days after the throne speech will Mark Carney introduce his new online censorship bill? But what is Mark Carney saying here?
Large American online platforms have become seas of racism, misogyny, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and hate in all its forms. And they're being used by criminals to harm our children. My government will act. And today we're announcing our plan to fight.
And I guess you're going to have to protect us from all of that, right? All that hate and stuff that you're going to be the one defining, right? They throw in as well, like child harm, which is illegal in Canada. Obviously, everybody wants to stop that, like wants to totally eradicate that. That's why Bill C-63, which we're going to get to in a second, that's why it was front loaded with that. Even though there was already laws to deal with it, it was like a Trojan horse bill. So behind that was the life in prison for doing a hate speech online, the future crimes, the pre-crimes, where you could be just some activist judge could decide, well, you might do an online hate, so hey, 12 months house arrest. And here's a list of things you can't do, and when you're going to be getting your blood tests, as well as, being dragged into kangaroo human rights tribunal courts to be sued by anonymous people who say that you've offended them in some way. But it's always to protect us from all the hate, all of the hate. I kind of feel like it's to protect them from dissent. I mean, does it ever go any other way? I mean, we can take a look at Europe. It seems to be used there just to silence people talking about things like immigration, because that's hate, right? In Germany, they went so far as to have a special law against criticizing politicians. Politicians, you can't criticize them too harshly, or else you can go to prison. Canada feels like they're protecting themselves, not the public, but it's always pushed. It's always this lie that it's to protect us from these scary forces out there of hate and blah, blah, blah. And there's racists out there, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it seems like, I feel like there's going to be a lot. If he gets his way, there'll still be lots of hate and racism, but it'll be government-approved hate and racism. So, let's continue.
Crime to protect Canadians. And to build.
There we go, to protect Canadians. I don't want protection from him. I don't need it.
Build communities that are safe, secure, and strong. A plan to make Canada secure, to make Canada strong.
Censoring the internet is going to make Canada safe, secure, and strong. I kind of feel like it's just going to protect you from people who will criticize you as you're ruining the country. From Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. Now, if you want to watch my big video where I actually go through the bill C-63, and read what's actually in the bill, you can find that on my channel. Just type in like Radio Baloney, Bill C-63, or Online Harms Act, and you will find that. But here's just a quick little recap of it. From the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. The Online Harms Act threatens freedom of expression in Canada. No Canadian should face an anonymous human rights complaint for what they have said. No Canadian should be hauled before a court or punished merely because somebody fears they will say something hateful. This is the pre-crimes part. This previous one was where you can be dragged into kangaroo courts, a human rights tribunal in Canada. The human rights tribunals in Canada are kangaroo courts. There's no real rules of evidence. There's no presumption of innocence. It's just simply entirely politically motivated. It's entirely political. Just if it's not woke, if it's not politically correct, too bad for you. It has absolutely nothing to do with human rights. In fact, it's a mockery of human rights, because the most important human right of all, of course, is free speech. No Canadian should face life imprisonment for their expression. This is the, if you say something that some activist judge decides is a hate online, you could go to prison for life. That I mentioned this was insanely draconian and insane. And Canada is probably the wokest country in the world. Canada's online expression should not be censored unless it violates the criminal code. Canadians are calling upon Minister of Justice. Okay, so this is before Parliament was prorogued, and all legislation in Parliament just was scrapped. That doesn't mean they're not going to bring it back. I mean, they've got the document still. It'd be very easy for them to reintroduce it. I think that's going to happen. I think that Mark Carney here is making it pretty clear. Mark Carney is a self-avowed elitist globalist. So you know what they do, right? Not big fans of personal freedom, right? They want everybody in the world conforming to their ideology and doing what they're told. Mark Carney, his book Values, like he wrote the book on this, right? So he's not just, as Jordan Peterson has pointed out, he's not just a useful idiot doing what he's told, right? He's one of the guys who's writing the script, who's writing the strategy. So this should be scary for all Canadians. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.